call the meeting to order for Tuesday, January 8th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Spence?
Here.
Mrs. Foreman? Here. Administrator?
Present.
Mayor?
Here.
Solicitor?
Present.
Fiscal Officer present. Mr. Merriman?
Here.
Mr. Mattern?
Here.
Mr. Dakenkoff?
Here.
Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have the minutes before you from our December 20th meeting. A motion made in order to approve.
So moved.
Second. Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Abstain.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Dakenkoff?
Yay.
Thank you. Motion approved. Is there anyone who'd like to speak before council tonight? I would recognize Mr. Dalton, who's out in the audience tonight. I will be asking for a water and sewer meeting at some point next week, hopefully, to talk about a concern, an issue he has with a tap-in, asking for a reduced fee based on current ordinances and laws and audit purposes. There's no way we can do that tonight. But we could listen to his argument in case, and then we can, make a decision, and I will speak with the solicitor and the auditor and see if there's really anything we can do on this issue for him. All right? Tonight being the first meeting of the year as our reorganization of council. Tonight as the selection of council president, I would ask that any nominations for council president.
I'll make a nomination for Mr. Bob Merriman to be retain that seat.
Any others?
I'll put a motion to close nominations.
Motion to close, a second to close.
Second.
All in favor of closing nominations indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All those selecting Mr. Merriman as the 2019 council president, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Why'd you say no, Bob?
I'm not allowed to vote.
I'm still thinking.
No, I was talking to him.
I was waiting for a tie. I couldn't. All right, you have in your packet the rules of council. Again, if you can review those, and we will adopt them at the next meeting. There's a couple changes I made. If you'll look at page 2, Rule 2, it had something in there when it fell on a holiday that we would reconvene 2 days later. Basically, I'm putting here, if it falls due on a holiday or an election day, council shall set a time for such meeting to occur on a different day or may remove the meeting from their calendar. That way we're not set to a limitation of when it should occur. I changed that. And Rule 6, if you look at the third page, it basically talks about the order of business. This is basically the order of business that we have followed since the 13 plus years I've been here, but it wasn't this way in the book. So I just pretty much changed those two. So if you review that, if anybody has any questions or comments, please get with Tammy so that she can bring them up and alert everybody so we can approve these at the next meeting. Okay? And again, typically we change committees every 2 years. So typically you would bring forward at the next meeting the same committees, Mr. Merriman. Again, if you guys want to swap different committees, you can work it out. Please do it prior to the next meeting. Okay? Any comments or questions?
Did we talk about at one point for June, July, August,
It's
instead
in
of
here.
it's on the first page, it says it will be on the first Thursday of the month only. Didn't we decide on doing that on the third Thursday?
Where's that page?
Very first page, under Rule 1, meetings, council meetings shall be on the first and third Thursday of every month except for June, July, August.
Okay, here's the reason I didn't change it. Okay, and I think we probably should think about it, but the reason I didn't change it is if we set the rules to be the third Thursday of the month, we must meet at least once a month. My concern is if we did the third and we missed it, we would have a small window
Right.
to get that meeting in. So I thought it was probably best just to leave it alone, and we can go from there.
That's fine.
All right? Right, Solicitor? Yep. So you wouldn't yell at us. All right? Okay, reading of ordinances.
We have one ordinance, and this was because I was negligent on it at the last meeting. Ordinance 1901. This is an ordinance, you know what?
I'm sorry, yes.
2019-01, it's an ordinance providing for pay raises for village employees effective on the first pay of 2019. I assume we want to have 3 reads tonight on that.
Again, council, what I would ask for is to set this as emergency legislation since we didn't have this for last year, so it could be in effect for this week's pay. So I'm asking for emergency legislation tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Deacon?
Yay.
Okay, second read, ordinance number 2019-01, ordinance providing for pay raises for village employees effective on the first pay of 2019. Third read, ordinance number 2019-01, an ordinance providing for pay raises for village employees effective on the first pay of 2019.
Motion made in order to approve 2019-01.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Deacon?
Yay.
Thank you. Motion passes. Before you, that's all we have for ordinances.
Yes.
Reports and announcements. You have the monthly mayor's report, court report. You have $8,141.52 brought in for the month of December. You had $6,373.52 to the city, $1,644.50 to the state, and total other was $123.50. The police report for the month of December, you had 167 complaints, 248 incoming calls, 15 accidents, 17 cases, 23 alarm calls, 11 juvenile cases, 46 arrests, 5 other arrests, 13 parking violations, 1 vehicle impound, 11 out-of-town assistance, 16 auxiliary hours. And in the month of December, you'll see $420 was collected from old fines, bringing the total to $20,458.49 for the year. Thank you, Chief. You also see the code enforcement report, total of $780.40. I'd also at this time like to, Chief, can you come forward, please? I don't want to miss any of the officers that were involved in the armed robbery and the pursuit and capture of those 2 criminals. Can you please brief council on the occurrence of that and where we stand today?
I believe Wednesday, January 2nd, we had an armed robbery up here at the Marathon Station on Main Street. Call came in at approximately 7:01. The gas station was held up by a male and female. The male did have a knife. Through the investigation, Sergeant Fabian, Officer McLaughlin, and Officer Pinkerton did one hell of a job. They not only used surveillance video, we used some of the traffic cam video from our own intersections, interviewing other agents, other stores in the area, which the investigation is still ongoing. However, I can say within 24 hours, we had not only the suspects identified who were from Michigan. Again, we're still trying to figure out why they were down here. And we had them arrested back in Michigan in about 18 hours. Our officers worked hand in hand with the prosecutor's office, sheriff's department, and Lincoln Park, Michigan Police Department. All around, it was a great effort in collaboration by all agencies involved. You can't put into words how I feel when your guys are out there and they do this job and you get the results, because typically this type of crime should be very, very difficult to solve, being that the people are 4.5 hours away. Literally committed the crime and went right back. So again, my hat's off to them.
Thank you. Where are the 2
The two-
alleged victim, alleged,
The suspects are currently in the Wayne County Jail, which is in the Detroit area. We got notification today that the female did waive extradition. Within the next couple of weeks, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department will go up and pick her up for us and bring her down. The male, he was arrested on other charges as well, so he may not return till April or later. Basically now for us, it's just a waiting game.
but he's been charged.
He has been charged, both subjects were charged with felony of the first degree, aggravated robbery.
Thank you. Tell them, gentlemen, thank you. Great job.
Absolutely.
Very good job.
Yep, good job. Very good job.
I think a couple
Ran somebody
things.
in 18 hours.
Well, I think there's a couple things too. I think, and again, it's up to our businesses as well to assist and, making sure they have proper cameras, which this establishment does. And I also commend, if you look at our red light system that has cameras, which help to assist in tracking as well. So those efforts put forward, help capture and hopefully deter, future incidences within the village. So congratulations. In your packet, you have the 2018 lighting contest winners, but it's lightning tonight. You had Margaret Klein, 270 Woodridge Drive, Thomas Boda, 185 Crawford Avenue, James Mall, 317 Meadowbrook Drive, Michelle Maurer, 226 Meadowbrook Drive, Brittany Lamp, 405 Eisenhower Drive, James Crane, 183 Rex Lane, and Christopher Matter, 117 Woodlawn Park. So those were your 2018 lighting contest winners. I'm going to ask for, do you have a copy to give everyone of this? Okay, we'll get them a copy. I'd like to request also sometime within the next week prior to the next meeting, a finance meeting, a committee meeting. Back in 2001 or before, it was long before that. It stopped in 2001. This village had a policy where at one point they couldn't afford to pay overtime. So employees would work overtime and they would accrue what they called a bank of hours. It would be paid later on, after they left, okay? What I'd like to do, and I have a list of who is still eligible. There are 11 employees still with this bank of hours. The problem is when I come in as mayor and Walt comes in as administrator and, who knows what will happen in 8 to 12 years from now, it gets forgotten. Okay, so of these 11, there's actually 3 employees that have left that did not receive this payment. So we have to make this payment to them. Problem is they're no longer employees, so we don't have them on the payroll. So Denise has to contact the auditors to figure out what we do with this and how do we pay them. One's actually a deceased employee, so it basically would go to his estate. So what I'm suggesting we do is we would pay all these off. We need to get these off the books and pay them, so we don't have this problem going forward. So it totals to a little over $7,000. But I think what's happening, 2 things. 1, get it off the books so we don't forget about them going forward. And 2, this number just keeps increasing. As they get payroll increases, this number goes up. It was never established to give them what they should have gotten back in that day. So it keeps going up. So I'd ask the Finance Committee meeting to meet so we can review this and approve these payouts. And I'm asking Denise to get with the auditors to figure out how we pay these other 3. So we can meet and discuss that, okay?
The other 3, one's dead, the other 2 still,
Yes. Yeah, one basically left employment last year, and another one left employment probably 12 years ago. You know what I mean? They didn't realize, some remember that they had it, and as they left, said, you know what, you owe me, and it got paid. Others did not realize it. So I'd just like to get this cleaned up off the books and closed, all right? So we don't have this going forward. So if we can do that, Mr. Merriman, I appreciate it. That's all I have. Administrator.
Only one small report today. Next week, I'll give you an infrastructure report, what went on last year and also this year. But we received a communication from the JV Green team about community cleanup and tire pickup. Unfortunately, there will not be one in Wintersville this year. Cross Creek Township is having one Island Creek is not. Both of the cities, Steubenville and Toronto are, and then a majority of the townships are. You're allowed small car and truck tires, no semi-tires, basically no electronics, no mattresses, no TVs, no paints or anything like that. Basically furniture, small appliances, any types of toys or bikes, normal things, no construction or demolition materials. The ones for Cross Creek Township is on May the 23rd at the Township Garage, the old ODOT garage out by the patrol post, and the hours are from 9 to 2. We'll post this on our bulletin board, and as I said, this year Wintersville was not scheduled to have one by the JV Green Team.
Provide it for our website as well.
Okay.
The problem I have with this, and again, I think we need to speak to them. If they could push this back into July, would be better for us, if they could at some point, because we do a spring cleanup. We don't take tires, but we could take them, hold them, and then take and dump them. But we're after that. We're always after them. So if there's something they could do, or if they can make some type of arrangements where we could take them somewhere to them, all right? So if you want to reach out to them, that'd be great.
And that's all I have now.
All right, thank you. Any questions for administration? Seeing none, no. Okay, unfinished business. There were only a few items that were on there. Basically, we closed them all out because they weren't going to happen. So we're going to start the year with a clean slate for unfinished business for 2019. Any new business? Mr. Martin?
New business, other than just spoke about it, I just wanted to congratulate the police department for a job well done up there at the Marathon gas station. I rode by there that night, not CPCI, and everybody up there. I know what was going on, but I did call the mayor and he informed me what was happening. And next couple of days, I know they had apprehended their suspects, and I thought that was pretty. I can understand how the chief feels being a part of something big like that. You know, picking up somebody from out of town and apprehending them. Good job.
Thank you. Mr. Spence?
I'm looking forward to another year here, and just want to make everybody aware. Art, I think, Chief, another guy put in his resignation from the police department.
That officer was his last day today, yes.
So I think when we have the finance meeting, I think, like last year, we talked about the different pay grades for the police officers, that we need to go back and look at that, because that's 10 police officers who have left, resigned, or from other means left the department in 3 years. Any business would look that up and say, you got a red flag because that turnover rate's high. And usually on, I believe, those 10, I just worked out some numbers, and it was around $20,000 over 3 years. So you're looking at about $6,600 for 3 years. Now, we've been paying that, and we haven't had a problem paying that. So I think at the next finance meeting, we should bring that up and see if we can't roll some kind of money into those pay scales, because all we have are the guys on the force that have been here for years. We can't hire any new people. We're the lowest priced police department in the area. So.
Again, we can discuss this again in executive session or in a finance meeting or whatever. This village offers a very favorable, fair pay and benefit package. Will we be able to pay what other communities give? Absolutely not. This village would go bankrupt. And again, we have talked about different things of bringing people on and giving them a sign-on bonus, you know, where we could retain them for at least a minimum of 3 years. And I'm okay in looking down that avenue. But to think that people are going to come here and become a police officer out of school and not move on is unfortunately unrealistic. It's going to occur. I've said this with this chief, and I've said it with the previous chief. We're pretty much like a AAA farm club. You know, people come here, they fill out whether it's truly what they want to do, and if they do like it, they go and try to find a job that pays more money. Or they say, hey, you know what, this career isn't for me. So if you look at the 10, some, have gone on to get more money. Some have said, listen, this is not for me. And some, unfortunately, for the protection of this village, we felt after we hired them, were not good quality candidates and were not good for us to keep them as police officers for the safety of this village. So we will continue to look, for officers. We'll continue to fill them. We have bigger problems. We have bigger problems with personnel than just police. We have a big problem where we don't have anyone that has the licenses to read the water, where we have to pay somebody. We have issues on the sanitation. We have issues on the sewage where we can't get people with licenses because they can't pass these tests with math. So it's across the board, and we're a small village doing the best we can, and we continue to provide services and quality services as best we can, and I can't say that we don't deliver that, and we do deliver. But there's going to be concerns and issues with staffing and retention. This is not a business, okay? You can't look at this as a business, okay? And I get it. If I had, a store and I had 80% turnover or 30% turnover, I would try to figure out what's going on. The simple fact is, what we pay is what we can afford. Can we give a little bit more for a sign-on to try to maintain them? I think we can. I think we've talked about it. But we can't outpay what the village brings in. The more we pay on payroll, the more we pay on benefits, the less we can provide in services. That's from fixing roads. That's from purchasing salt to keep the streets clean in the winter. Again, it goes across the board. It's not a single issue. And I wish it was. I wish it was a very simple issue to solve. I have suggestions of how to solve it, but I'm not sure the police department would like the suggestion I would like to go, or this council. And we can discuss that also in a finance meeting. But the fact of the matter is, the police department, for the most part, is full. We are able to fill them, and we will continue to fill them. I have sewage, I have water departments I can't fill. I got people working overtime. I got people in other departments that are filling in for other people because we can't get those types of employees either. Because anybody with a CDL can go to oil and gas, make $20 to $25 an hour. We're paying $12, right? I mean, it's very difficult, even though we still have been able to fill those jobs. We're still able to perform our duties to provide the service. I commend the staff that we have. I commend what we're doing and trying to bring, Walt's doing a heck of a job. I think the chief also in this situation has done that, but I won't hire people that we don't believe can handle the job. And if it costs us money to replace people, you know what? It's going to cost us, but we will not have inferior employees, okay, to protect and serve this village. So we will continue to do what we can. Yes.
I feel the same way too. I mean, I've been a big advocate of the police department since I've been here for the 20 years I've been here. But I do understand every word you just said, because we cannot, actually treat one better than the other, because we look across the board. Because when we start giving this guy more than this guy, and this guy's going to be here. How come he deserve that and this one don't? So we got to keep it pretty much even on what we do. Because, like I said, people want to come here, they're going to train, and they're going to leave. Just like an apprenticeship. It's like the News 9 up there. They get people in there, and 6 months later, you see them on TV, they're gone because they're going to another bigger station. So we have to understand the fact of the matter is when they come here, that to be a police officer, or they come here to work for the village. The scales are laid right out in front of them. It's not that they don't deserve more, we just can't pay more. And if we start that, like I said, we will be broke. We will have some major financial issues. I think the mayor talked probably about 2-3 months ago with the idea, the sign-on bonus. I do like that, get somebody on 2-3 years, try to make a commitment to stick around. But, in order just to start, adding money to the wages, it's not going to work. It's not going to work in the best interest of the village because of what we have. We keep a balanced budget every year. We're in the black, and we like to try to keep it that way. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Again, the public, when we're short a police officer, no turn for the most part goes without being turned by 2 officers. We still continue to do that. You have communities around us that still have just 1 officer. We still, even though we lose an officer and need to replace them, we're still having every turn with at least 2. So the safety and commitment to this village is utmost priority, and we will continue to be that. We will never go back to 1, like other communities.
over several finance meetings over the past couple of years, Art's always fought for additional rates for his employees, and we've tried to grant that as much as we can while being fiscally responsible. Art, at one point you brought forward a breakdown and a comparison to local entities and also other entities our size. And you had it on a piece of paper, it wasn't nothing fancy, but it was at least a nice little breakdown that was done a couple years ago. If we are going to go into this, it would be nice you can update that form if you could. And it was a breakdown of what the pay is, what some benefits are, because I know other entities, they fork out a lot of money for their benefits where, they have contributions to it, okay? Ours are more limited. Uniforms, other benefits that we give them other than health. And it was, it was a pretty basic presentation, but it gave you a good idea of what we were up against locally. And I believe there's a couple other entities that had 4,000 citizens in it. Was that? And I think Walt did that a couple times too. If we are going to discuss that in greater detail, it would be nice to have those comparisons updated and brought forward. I don't know if we could do it at this next finance meeting. Asking you guys to update that in a week might be a bit
And
much.
again, we can go down that approach, but there's a lot of variables, okay? For example, again, we bring in, our tax base is a certain tax base. So we can go to a 4,000 base community that makes 5 times the revenue that we make in taxes. There's so many variables that need to be put in that, presentation.
Absolutely.
Not just payroll, not just what they make, okay? Because if you work for the county, you may make more money, but they pay a huge deductible. We pay 70% of every employee's deductible with zero coming out of their pay, where the county has to pay all their deductible and pay per each pay period, okay? So there's a lot of different variables. We as a village and council, this council, since I've been here and prior to me, has tried to give more in benefits and cover those benefits because we have a pay issue where we can only pay so much. We've tried to pick it up on the backside with those benefits. It's like a give and take. So you could give everybody $3 an hour raise, okay? But they're going to pay for benefits now, okay? And it's a give and take, and where do we want to go? The fact of the matter is, I think in my philosophy and my belief is, I'm more concerned to make sure that our employees have health care. And they have an affordable health care, that doesn't have a $12,000 deductible. So if they need to go to the hospital or doctor, they go. Okay? Well, other communities are like, okay, you're going to pay for it and have $12,000. So again, it's just, there's no easy answer. I mean, obviously, if we brought in $3 million instead of $1 million in Rita, you know what? We'd have all our problems solved. But that's not fair to the taxpayer. So we're trying to do the best we can for the employees and the taxpayers at the same time. So again, and provide those services that they're accustomed to.
I agree with what you said. It would be a nice refresher for all of us on council to have that. And it would also be a nice refresher to see what other people are paying for the employees as well, for our employees to take a look at to see exactly what it is. Maybe we cut back on for the employees. If they have feel they want a bigger pay, then maybe we have to cut back on the benefits. There's going to be a trade-off in between. There's no easy answer, but it's a nice point in time where we can at least take a look at where we are, and if we have to change things, we can look at doing that for next year's budget or so as we move forward. I think a refresher's in order.
And this council has awarded 2 to 3% pay raises for the last 15 years. So it's not like we're not also increasing that number that they get, where other people are not getting anything, for pay raises.
Absolutely.
And they're paying more for healthcare and they're paying higher deductibles. So again, I'm not saying we can't look at it, and we should. I'm not saying that. I think we need to be careful. We need to be careful looking at one department over another and saying they're underpaid, okay? Because really, I have issues in every department. It's not just one. And if you don't meet the demands of EPA with the water, you don't meet the demands of EPA with the sewage, you know what, we get major fines too. So, it's across the board issue. It's not one department. And it's across the board based on revenue that we bring in, and our expenses on the other side. I mean, it's just, it's a problem, which we can look at and see what we can do, but let's be mindful of it's not just one department. Anything else, Mr. Spence?
Yeah, thank everybody for your explanation on that. I just wanted to make sure we can review it, because the last time we reviewed it, the budget was already closed.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and again, I said in the last meeting and in the finance meeting, we pass a preliminary budget where we don't do pay raises. We said after we pass budgets. We said this was preliminary, and we have an open dialogue for the next 3 months to talk about this.
all right,
So it's
that's why I
open.
wanted to bring it up.
Yes, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Foreman,
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Becker,
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Jean Angel,
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Merriman.
Yeah, I'd like to tell Art and his guys, great job. Make sure you tell them. Appreciate it. That's all.
Mr. Madden,
No new business.
Mr. Degenkolb.
I think everybody's in agreement, Art, to your guys, everybody that I read in the news article, Sergeant Fabian, Captain Vandenborn, Mr. McLaughlin, and Mr. Pickerington. Fantastic job, so.
Just to reiterate, I believe there was one a few months ago, too. One of the officers worked on a sex crime charge in Wintersville and apprehended a suspect also. I read that in the paper.
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mrs. Foreman? Yay. Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Okay, so our next meeting is next Thursday, okay? So it's like 10 days from now. I would like to have, can we set up, who's the water and sewer chairman?
I think
Jason Madden.
Jason is.
Well, it's current, we stay with where we're at.
Yeah.
Is there a
Jason,
way we
Randy,
can meet,
myself.
next week before the meeting at 6 o'clock?
Day of the meeting next
Yeah.
Thursday?
So we can speak about, that we could make a,
Yeah, I should be able to, so that's Thursday, the 17th.
yes, at 6 o'clock,
At 6.
okay?
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
so can we go ahead and make that announcement now?
Yes.
Who else is on that committee? Were you in it, Bob?
I'm on it.
Myself and Randy.
You're on it? So is that good with the committee?
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yes,
announce
6
that
o'clock?
Do that at 6, and at 6:30, finance?
As soon as she lets me know what's, it's 6:30 finance.
We'll make it for 6:30, hopefully we
Yep.
get the answers by then, so we can, resolve these two
Yep.
matters next week.
Yep.
What's finance we gonna do?
To talk about this payouts for these
Oh, okay, okay.
employees.
Frozen accounts.
Yeah, frozen. All right, thank you.
Will you have Tammy?
Motion to
or-
adjourn until January 17th.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, meeting adjourned.